Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Jan Kasperich, your co-host with functional strength specialist Dominic Perillo, and you are listening to the Elite Performance Team Podcast, episode number 4. If this is your first time, then thanks for joining us. The Elite Performance Team Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment. Today we're talking about sports recovery, utilizing biooptimization tools here in our office and also at home. As you can see, we're sitting here in our recovery lounge in our Normatec compression boots. You can also find us on our Facebook page, Elite Performance Team. We also have a website, eliteperformanceteam.org. All our podcasts will be uploaded onto iTunes very shortly. And if you have a comment about anything that we're talking about, or if you have any questions, you can always leave a comment on our Facebook page, or you can go to the eliteperformanceteam.org website, go on to Elite Performance Team Podcast. There's a comment section. It's also where you can find all our show notes that we're going to be talking about. So pretty much everything that we're talking about, it's going to be transcribed into the actual website as well. Dom, how was your morning today? I believe you did a little bit of working out.
That's correct. I ran a half marathon this morning. Got up a little extra early and got out for 13 miles. It was tremendous. The weather was actually really nice. It was a little cooler today than it's been, and definitely helped for a good pace.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think the next 4 to 5 days is supposed to be really nice. Might go check the weather. That's what I do every day. First thing I do in the morning, I check the weather, see how the wind is, because I do a lot of cycling. And I think I'm going to try to push for 100 plus miles tomorrow down the shore. But Dom, why don't you start us with the quote of the day? What's your quote?
Quote of the day: when you are not training or practicing, someone else is getting better.
Yeah, very common quote. I've heard this quite a bit. When I hear this quote, a lot of people think about training, performance, and things of that nature. Two aspects of it that I don't think people pay enough attention to is recovery, which is something like this, which is using Normatec recovery pump boots. Fantastic equipment, but there's a whole nother aspect to it too, which is the nutritional aspect of it. I work with a lot of young athletes going into Division I sports like football and baseball. I actually have one patient. He got a full scholarship as a sophomore to play Division I baseball, and then he went to a showcase. I believe it was in Alabama, and he really kicked butt. And there's a very good chance he's going to be a first-round draft pick into the majors. And I'm trying to stress with him the importance of nutrition, because the same thing is like as you stated, when you are not training or practicing, somebody else is. That whole nutritional component is also important, because there are people, they're gifted, they have good genetics, but they're not nutritionally sound. So if you could take advantage of that, you're going to really kick butt. After putting all the miles into running and all the kind of training that you do, what kind of biooptimization tools and technology have you been using currently?
First thing in the morning when I wake up, I check my resting heart rate. My resting heart rate is somewhere between 45 and 48, on average, beats per minute. So if that morning my resting heart rate is 5 beats higher than my average, I need to assess what I'm going to do that day. I may take a complete rest day. Might go out and ride the bike instead of. I'm training for a marathon currently. I should mention that. So my running is the most important element of my training right now, along with my stability, mobility, core work. But if my heart rate is up, it either needs to be a lighter run, an easier run, or possibly a rest day. So today I woke up, my resting heart rate was 46, right where it needs to be. I use both a watch. I use an Apple Watch, and I also use a pulse oximeter and check my resting heart rate that way. So first thing in the morning, that's what I do. Usually get up, make coffee, go and I sit in front of my infrared light while I do some glute activation. And this is all this morning at about 5:20.
Sure.
And I like the way the infrared light sort of gives me a little boost in the morning and wakes me up. And I've been using that for quite a while. I also use, when I'm at work, I use the power plate probably the most. I have really reaped the benefits of the power plate. If you want to speak on the benefits of that, Doc.
Yeah, sure. Power plate is basically whole body vibration technology. A lot of different brands out there, but by far the gold standard is PowerPlate. We have two here in our office. I have one at home as well. I use it quite frequently as well. It does a couple great things. The vibration actually gets really deep muscle fibers and fascia to actually stretch. So you could do a whole stretching workout on there after a hard workout as well. The vibration, because it vibrates in all three axes, also stimulates lymphatic drainage. So it helps get the inflammation and lymphatic waste out of the muscles and the cells, dumps it into the lymphatic system, and then your body's going to get rid of it through expiration of breath, through urination and defecation, which is pooping. And then we also use it quite a bit to help stretch the fascia, the anterior fascia, where people get very tight, also posterior fascia. So this way it will help open up their thoracic cage, so when they're running they can actually inhale more breath, and this way they have more chest expansion as well. The other cool thing about the vibration plate, it also stimulates the cells called osteoblasts. Osteoblasts are the cells which actually create bone. So I work with patients that have fractures. I don't actually treat directly the fracture. I definitely don't adjust fractures. But what I do is I'll put them on the power plate, and that will significantly speed up the healing time of any kind of fracture. Even something like a shin splint, which is now considered a microfracture, dramatically speeds up the healing of microfractures of shin splints. And personally, I use the vibration plate too. I didn't use it today, but if my legs are feeling fatigued, prior to getting into something like this, like these Normatec boots, first thing I do is I jump on a PEMF mat, which is a pulsed electromagnetic frequency mat, which puts a magnetic field around your body. And what that actually does, it actually makes your cell membranes more porous. Every cell has a membrane around it, which helps contain its organelles or organs inside. But it's very important for transmission of absorbing nutrients and expelling waste. So what the PMF mat, oh, I'm getting a good squeeze of boots now. What the PMF mat does, it increases the ability of the cell to get rid of toxins and allows nutrients to get into the cell, then I get onto the power plate, stimulates lymphatic drainage, and then I jump into the boots. But if I'm strapped for time, I just jump into the Normatec boots. What other kind of devices are you using?
Real quick comment on the power plate. So I got into work a few minutes before you today, and so when I was running, I stepped up onto a curb just to avoid a car, and I felt this sort of tightness just occur up in my thoracic spine and through my shoulder blades. And so when I got in, I actually went on the power plate, and I did some of the side stretching, and it really changed the game. Really, I feel so much better now. Sure. Having gone on it. I also, obviously my feet were on it, and so I did that prior to coming on here. So I also